Hi, Tea Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. And today we are checking out Twice's What Is Love album. Finally, I know I'm getting to it, but I'm super excited to get to hear the rest of this album. I think that What Is Love is such a fun poppy song. Like, it is so Twice to me in my brain, at least from this era, that I'm excited to see what else I have on this album. And best part is I get a bunch of new Twice songs to listen to whenever I want. So excited to get into this one. Right, starting off with Sweet Talker. That could be anything. I'm assuming we're in that same vein of love, though. So someone, I'm assuming, sweet talking them. Us? Am I inclusive? Ooh. That is a crazy synth to start off on, and then you're gonna start with adorable sauna noises? Nah, I'm already sold on the song. Like, it sounds like it should be an opener to something. Ooh. Ooh, these synths are so fun. Like, these like really almost like drum fill sounding synths and having this like descending feeling to it. Really like fast cadence to the point where my brain is like me checking, being like, have I sped up the video? No, it's just like a faster delivery to it, which I really think is cool to just have this really high pace song and like vocal delivery. Love all the ooh. The back is so cute too. The like back and forth, the horns coming in, like the brass. There's so much energy to the song. I'm so excited. A little flip up too. Oh no. Maybe it wasn't good? My gosh, wait. I love that, like, again, like the shift in this like cadence. We slowed some of it down and then bringing in some of those more like rap cadences is really fun, and a bit of a lower register, right? We've had a lot of this really forward, bright sounding for all of their vocals, and then having more of that like lower talk singing tone is just a fun way to shift the narrative. Right, more drawn out with Junghyun's part. There's so much happening in the song. I love that the melodies in that chorus felt more elongated, right? Like we have this much faster cadence and delivery for the rest of the song that I really love, that we're getting these like more drawn out vocal melodies for the chorus. And I love that it has almost this like minor sounding to it. Again, I'm sorry to all the music theory people. It's not my specialty, okay? But it has this feeling of almost ballad kind of choice in some of the progression of the vocal melodies that I feel like it just adds like this hint of slowing things down, a hint of almost melancholy, because from the lyrics it's, oh, this person is like a sweet talker, but they're more talk than action, right? Like they can say all of these nice things and get in my head and I'm constantly thinking about them, but they're not actually going to follow through with any of that, right? And like people are telling me like, hey, they're only nice words. You're not going to get anything out of this. So I think it's fun to bring in some of that like ballad feeling to the chorus in terms of the vocal melodies that they're choosing, while also having such an upbeat song and like the production and like the rest of the verses. Also this, oh, so cute. I love it so much. I've had Nayeon pulls up her chest voice there. Also, they said shake heart, and my brain immediately was like, heart shake, shake. That's so cute. Ooh, I love that too, of this feeling of this confusion of I know, I don't know, right? Like this back and forth of this person like being able to say the right things to you, so it changes your mind, and you're like, and then the moment that person's not around, you can like think clearly, you can think through what they've actually done with their actions. You're like, oh wait, no, this person isn't like, I understand that this isn't going to work. I shouldn't let this person sweet talk me. And then the moment that you're with them, you're like, oh no, I don't know, because that person has that kind of sway over you with their words. You know what you said without feeling? A little vocal fry there too. Oh my gosh, like it's so fun with the production. I love it so much. It sounds like it needs to be an opener to some kind of thing, like a game show or something. Like the chaotic synths and hints of retro vibes in the production is so much fun. But I love this bringing in that I felt like I was in a movie, and then we have What Is Love and some of the other stuff they've had in their discography of reenacting movies and like feeling like are kind of like love is fit for that, or I want that kind of love that I was promised in movies. And instead I'm stuck with reality where things fall short. So I like bringing some of that in as well into the lyrics. I love vibrato on that. Ooh. Ooh, oh, the way that they took out a bunch of those like higher synths, it was like really bassy, and then almost this like glitch to it. Again, like this feeling of, oh, everything felt bright and wonderful and energetic and all of that, and then you bring in those like deeper tones and it's like glitching in the synths. It's like, actually, it isn't what it looks like, right? Like it isn't actually something that's functioning the way that it's supposed to. I think that's so fun. Even just like vocals, like I was saying, that contrast between these like really fast vocals and these slow down vocals, that feeling of like falling for someone's talk because you're caught up in that moment, and then the moment that you get a moment to actually think through everything, and you're like, actually, you said that without any feeling. Like you actually didn't mean what you said, and like I didn't realize it in the moment, even though it was clear. I didn't see it because I didn't want to. Like I was too caught up in that moment, and then the moment that you have actually stepped out and can think through it and slow down, you're actually able to see it for what it is. And even the like contrast in those like really bright higher range sounds and getting these kind of like lower talk singing tones is like that back and forth, right? This like seesaw of emotions and like the highs and lows of interacting with this person, right? Ooh, dang! That was like barely a bridge. I like that we got some tsui there and I had the like nice little keys there. I was ready to just launch back in. Gorgeous ad-lib. Was that a kissing noise at the end? They're so cute. This is such a cute song, but also I feel like there were so many things mixed into it with like the storytelling of how they were making the song mirror what they were talking about in the lyrics. Cute in terms of like sweet talker and being infatuated with this person, right? But at the same time realizing that it's not actually going to work, and even though it's like this person is able to get into your head that way, understanding it. I also like that we had that shorter bridge where it's just like, oh, I hope this is a dream. And then just like rushing back in to lyrics and the high energy, because like I was saying, the moment that you can actually sit back and think about it, you're like, oh, wait, actually, this isn't going to work. Like you can logic yourself out of it. Whereas how people, sweet talkers, get around that is that they just keep moving, right? They just keep saying the right things. And because of that, you don't have time to like actually think about, wait, this person's really good at saying all of the right things, but I've never actually seen them do any of the stuff that they're talking about. I don't actually feel any of the things that they're saying on my behalf. So I like that we rushed forward where it was like, nope, don't think about it. I'm just going to keep talking and you're going to keep falling for those tricks because that's what I want. So I love the structure of it. Fits really well with the song. And I think given the whole what is love part of this story, I think that it also is interesting to have something that is also, this isn't actually love, right? This is somebody just talking. They're just saying the right things that sound like the movies, that like sound like they're super romantic, or that this person cares a lot about you. But again, all talk, no action, right? You don't feel like this person cares about you. There isn't any emotion behind those words. They're just saying the right things. So it's exploring that idea of what is love? What does it actually mean? Is it what we see in like media and movies, or is it like something else, something deeper? And I really like that we're continuing to pull that forward and have a bit of cheekiness in their delivery. Such a fun song. So fun with the instrumentation and the production and their vocal delivery. Absolutely infatuated with how cute so many of this was, especially Sana. But that's just like a given. But like her little, oh, so cute. I loved it so much. All right, this was just called Ho! Exclamation point. That doesn't give me anything. I have no idea. Santa Claus? Who knows? Ooh. Like the clap. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I am, because you're about to do something cute. I just gotta go back because this bass, the claps, it's upbeat, but it looks like we got like some lyrics that are a little bit like this. I especially like this part. I love that we got the gata and then we go into the uwa ya ya, like the onomatopoeia, and then having that going off of the Korean pronunciation, right? Like we're getting these ah sounds introduced in the previous word and then going into having those ah sounds in just like the vocalizations. I think that's really fun because it's adding into that kind of like bounce to the performance, but it's like carrying those sounds forward, which I really like. I'm just gonna listen to it again because, oh my gosh, this is a bop too. It's gonna be one of those albums, isn't it, where I'm just gonna be bopping to all of the songs and I'm okay with that. I love Momo's lower range coming through here. Oh, I wasn't ready. I was not ready for Gio to come in that strong. Okay, one, I get the whole thing, like laughing or whatever, but almost this like sarcastic feeling because we have it made me make me a fool again. Even though like sunshine we're talking about in like Momo's verse, she was talking about like it's been a few days of sunshine. It's not for me, right? Like this idea of everything like being bright and sunny, but it doesn't like fit properly. Like I was saying with Sweet Talker, this feeling of it looks better than it is, right? And in reality, that's not how it actually feels. Like the world is ready for me. How does this day make you feel? Even like round and round, make me a fool again. I keep laughing. Again, this almost even going into Dahyun's part of I want your love, of saying, hey, I want this to be something more than what it is. And instead, you're stuck like spinning in circles, not committing, not saying like you want anything. How does it make you feel to have this like bright sunny day? And I'm still like, it's spinning its wheels, right? This relationship isn't going anywhere. Also, hey boy, now because I am in the future, I am thinking of strategy. I didn't know we were pulling something forward with that. But this almost, the instrumentation is making me think of like old school like doo-wop music, right? Like it makes me feel like this would be something in like the 60s 50s maybe. It feels like this should be played at like one of those like dance competitions or something, those like dance contests. Like you should be doing the twist or something, which I love. I wasn't ready, but all the vocals layered in the back. Ooh. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. You're coming in strong, and I love that for you. Jungyeon's voice here, though, gorgeous. I already love that in this album so far. We're getting some beautiful moments with Sana, these like vocal slides. Also the shy. This part's so good. Just makes me want to dance. Look at the little flip up we got from Sui's vocals too there. Little cry in there. Nina. Wait. Everybody hold up. This song's too good. Maybe it's just like my love of like doo-wop music and all of that, because it's like all these layered vocals in the back and it's like who, right? Like those little like vocalizations of like, that is so doo-wop music. It feels like it needs to be played in a diner. It feels like I need to be dancing, and I love that. I'm so excited about the song. I can't believe it's buried in the middle of an album. Please tell me that there's like a there's like a special place in the fandom's heart for this song because there is in mine. But Mina's voice sounded gorgeous. And then we had that like really intense, like crashing in of the instrumentation. Junghyun's voice on this song, I don't know what it is about the style or whatever we're doing, but she sounds fantastic. She usually does. But there's just something else about her tone in this. Tio, please. Play it out. I love that song with everything in me. Sonically, vocally, they all sounded amazing. Again, getting this kind of like quicker cadence to their delivery in certain parts too, which I love. Obsessed. Instantly obsessed. I just want to dance and sing along to the song. I'm going to be listening to it so much. I think it's so much fun to bring in some of that retro feeling. Not only just because, like, again, it's playing on a bit of a different retro feel. I feel like a lot of the time we talk about, a retro sounding song or bring in like a retro vibe to it. A lot of the time we're talking about more like 80s, right? Especially in more like recent things. That's like the synth pop stuff that we've been getting, whereas like this is again going deeper into like a doo-wop style music, and I really like them bringing that in, not only because it's fun and it's bright and really lets them flex some of their vocals in this, of all the different vocal layers that are in it, but also like their vocal tones. But I think that it also is pulling into what they're talking about with what is love, right? We've talked about like movies, we've talked about someone who can sweet talk you, we've talked about feeling like you're missing like the actual heart of what it means to be in love with someone. And I think that it's really fun to go back to an older style where it feels like things were like simpler or like romanticized, right? We can listen to a lot of those like older love songs and they're very like simplistic in their stories, but there's like this like deep feeling to them, like this like wonderful fun expression of what it means to fall in love with someone. And like in that simplicity is taking away some of the complications that you face when you're actually in love with someone, right? Like when you actually care about somebody, it's never as simple as it is in the like old romantic songs and all of that. So I love that we're referencing to that older style as like going through this journey of bringing in different kinds of media and how love has been represented throughout humans making media, right? Like the way that it is conveyed through those mediums and looking at it through a modern lens, right? So saying I feel like a fool because I feel like stuck in place and you're not making any decisions about what this is, and I want to tell you that I care about you, that I want your love, right? I want this to be something more than what it is. And I think that's a really interesting progression from like sweet talker, right? This person who's like all talk no action. Now you're like, okay, I'm just gonna try, right? I'm just gonna say something and hopefully it works out, and if it doesn't, I tried. I don't want to be made a fool of because I feel like I'm being super obvious and I'm not getting anything in return, right? And even just like this laugh sound, right? Of this being like, I feel like I need to just like laugh at the situation because how can you not realize what I'm talking about, like what I mean, and wanting something again that is deeper than what you're getting on the surface, right? Wanting to actually experience love and not just like a crush or like flirting or a weird in between of, are we friends? Are we acquaintances? Are we going towards a relationship? So I love bringing a bunch of that in. I just have a big smile on my face because I love this song so much. Obsessed. All right, Deja Vu. Now, in my experience, the song called Deja Vu is always good. I doubt that I am going to be disappointed in this instance. Ooh. wait, the vocals coming in strong, especially with Naya and Ma'am. I just want to breathe. These songs are just like throwing me in. Like, I need some time to recalibrate, but okay, I guess we're chasing after someone a little bit. Again, Deja Vu. Wow. Wow, almost like the scale of that with the drums and then the vocalizations, like not just like the la la la's at the beat, like at the forefront, but all of those vocals layered up behind it. Gorgeous. Trying to like recalibrate. Even this You and My Deja Vu, like it feels like we're talking again about like maybe chasing after someone again, like feeling like you're the one taking the first steps. And that's something that has been referenced in the previous song of, hey, I'm tired of you going around and around. I want us to actually have a connection. I want to actually feel love. What is love? Coming back to that question and seeing someone and feeling deja vu for them is deja vu is like something that feels familiar but isn't, right? Maybe it's like repeating behaviors of, again, chasing after somebody who isn't actually going to be good for you, isn't actually going to get to that point where they can love you or you can love them, which is what like you're looking for. Or it could be just that when you see this person, it feels like they're familiar because it's like this instant connection. And at the same time, you're like, is this like something that you're also feeling though, right? Like you resemble my dreams, but at the same time, you don't know this person, right? This risky game has started, right? Like I'm approaching you and I'm taking a chance walking up to you because it feels like there is something familiar here with you, even though we're just meeting for the first time, right? Even though we don't actually know each other yet. Almost this like love at first sight feeling, which again, if we're bringing in all that kind of like movie, romantic stories, how love is portrayed in the media, I think bringing in this concept of like love at first sight is really interesting too. And this feels cinematic. Ooh, I love the yeah. Great delivery of that. Wow. The amount of layered vocals in this. Ooh, okay. Like, again, a bunch of layered vocals, even just in the previous songs, too. Like, the sheer amount of vocals that they have done on this album, and I'm only like halfway through, is incredible. There's so many layers, and it's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. And I think that it adds, in this case, to this feeling, like I'm saying, like cinematic, this scale. Like, it feels like something that should be in a soundtrack. And even having the like la la la's, it makes me feel like someone like daydreaming. I love that it's this very minimal chorus of like letting the scale take over, but also this feeling of being stuck in your own head and not seeing the complications with love at first sight, bringing in a lot more of that imagery as we got through some of these of I can't figure you out, or should I go talk to you? Like, you don't know this person, but you feel like you do because you had that kind of instant connection with them, right? That deja vu of, I feel like I've met this person before. I feel like we've been here before. It's like a destined thing, right? Like a soulmate kind of feeling to it. And then having these like vocalizations as the chorus, it has this feeling of daydreaming, getting stuck in your head because you're envisioning all of the possibilities, the dreams that you have of this person. Like it fits so perfectly with your own dreams of the person that you would end up with, that you're stuck in that expectation without fully realizing that you don't actually know this person, right? What do we know about this person that they're talking about in the song? Not much. It's just, oh, you're so mysterious. It's like, yeah, because you don't know them. You haven't talked to them, right? You've just met them. That's why they're mysterious. And it's like romanticizing that feeling, right? And I love just like the gorgeous way that they're putting this song together, but also again, like bringing in that other angle of like how we think about love, how we portray love, the complexities of like how we teach people what love is, which is like a very simplified version, right? Like love at first sight is like a very romanticized way of looking and falling in love with someone, that like, oh, someday you will meet someone, you'll meet eyes with them and you'll just know that you're in love with them. But that's not what builds a relationship, right? Like you might have an instant like attraction to someone. You might instantly feel like there is some kind of draw towards someone, but you can't build a relationship off of that. So I love them bringing some of that in. It's just so beautiful. I just want to listen to it again. Even the drums feels like almost like a heartbeat. Or like marching forward. Huh? What's happening? I wasn't ready for like a dubstep break. We're just gonna move on. I don't know how to process it. But it's jarring, right? We have the whole my heart will explode, like this feeling of, oh, if everything actually happens, it will change everything. I think that's so interesting to bring in such a like heavy, like electronic sound into this, almost like a club beat to it, as opposed to, I was talking about this more cinematic sound we've had for the rest of it. It's like jarring and out of place, and it like contrasts, I feel, with the rest of the song in a way that I feel like there's like intentionality. Again, like this whole feeling of like love at first sight and not actually knowing someone and being stuck in your daydreams instead of what reality is. And so having this like kind of jarring shift is like, again, like maybe part of it. I don't know. My brain is calibrating. Let me just launch back in. Wow. Oh, again, I love like the scale of that, the cinematic feeling of that. Again, digging into this idea of love at first sight and like true love, or like soulmates, right? It's kind of destined connection with somebody. Even like saying you and my deja vu, having those two things tied up together, of it's this feeling of deja vu, like this should be something familiar even though it's not, and being drawn into that feeling as opposed to like actually knowing this person, right? Like actually going and talking to them, actually learning about them and being pulled in by this feeling. Because so much of what we say when it comes to how media portrays love is through this lens of, oh, you'll feel it. You'll just know, your soul will connect with someone, right? Like all this very vague language of how you're supposed to know about how you care about somebody. Whereas like the reality of being in a relationship with another person is that there's going to be complicated parts of it. You're going to have to communicate. You're going to have to go through ups and downs. You're going to have to learn about that person, and you're going to have to make compromises and meet people halfway. And there's so much intentional work that goes into maintaining relationships, regardless of what they are, right? Romantic or platonic or whatever. You have to put in intentional effort into those relationships. It's not good enough to just feel something for someone, right? To have a connection to this person, you have to put in that intention. And I think that it's so interesting to bring in that feeling into this album, again, of exploring this question of what is love and having this very like cinematic feeling to it. So many gorgeous layered vocals in this, like this almost like choir feeling to so many of the vocals. That's just gorgeous, beautiful. Like imagining the amount of work that they put in the studio to put that all together. Again, with the other different layers of vocals we've had in previous songs. Wild how much work put into just like recording like the backing vocals for some of these songs. Incredible. Right now we have Say Yes. I'm so floored by this album so far. The sheer amount of bops and talent on the vocals on this and the production. Wow. Oh no. Gonna get me in my feelings. I wasn't ready for an acoustic guitar. Gorgeous melody. The vocals on this, again, I wasn't ready for an acoustic. I love that we had a little bit of a laugh with Sana's part, but gorgeous of just like bringing everything in. This feels very like R&B feeling, again, going into a different genre, but still kind of expressing this love, like how to go about it, like wanting to call and connect with this person and not being able to make that connection. See, again, all these gorgeous layered vocals, but again, like this feeling of wanting to connect with someone and feel like say yes, of like connecting with them, wanting them to be in love with you, wanting them to connect with you, and be like anxiety grows. Even this like toxic feeling of I like a bad tone or whatever, right? Like this feeling of you almost like the suspense of being in between a yes and a no, and you want this person to say yes, to have it be like in the movies where you're like, will they, won't they, will they end up together, whatever. And then when you finally get that moment of yes, when it's, oh my gosh, they're gonna live happily ever after and all of that, right? And having that be like a similar feeling, but like in reality, that's like a very like anxiety inducing place to be in, of someone kind of making you wait and also liking that feeling, or your like affection grows for this person the more that you like feel like you have to work for it, or like in that suspense, right? You get stuck in, again, the fantasies of this person giving you like hope of being like, I'll think about it. Very interesting emotion to bring out of, again, that like feeling of suspense, like limbo of, is there going to be a yes? Nayan. Ooh, so I just gotta go back and listen to Nayeon's vocal again. But again, this feeling of being uncomfortable, of being this place of anxiety, of almost, again, like enjoying like the giddiness of that feeling, but also being in this place of, okay, but it only feels exciting if that person says yes at the end. You know what I mean? Like when you explain how you feel about someone to them and you kind of have that like giddiness of, is something going to happen? It only feels exciting if you get a yes at the end, right? If you get a no, then it's like this crushing feeling of, oh, I devoted all of this kind of hope and time to thinking maybe this could happen, only to get a no. So I understand this kind of say yes of, hey, please answer me, of say yes though, right? This only works if you say yes. And even the why are you doing this of, you're keeping me in suspense. If it's not going to be a yes, why are you putting it off? If it's just a no, just say that and then I can move on. Whereas it has to be a yes if you're like thinking about it, right? Again, like that hope that you get when someone isn't like outright saying no. Gorgeous vocal. Gorgeous. Oh, I wasn't ready for all of the vocals coming in. I was gonna pause and say something, but then Sana took my breath away. The way that we slowed everything down, I love that we got Chaeyoung's part. She just put like a little bit more closure in her voice. We've had lots of like breathier vocals throughout this, and she just put a little bit more closure in her vocal cords, which I think is like a nice transition because it's tightening up that sound before we get into further in the song of almost this like maybe making like emotion, right? Like when you get emotional, your vocal cords tighten up. It could also just be like a little bit more like sure in yourself, right? Kind of the frustration building up and you're like, I'm done being soft about this. Say yes. Like, why are we still waiting? Why am I still like just sitting here waiting for you to call me back? Either it's a yes or it's a no. And by this point, you should have figured that out, right? Ugh, the vocals. Ooh, I love having Mina's voice be the last one because she has such a like light, breathy voice anyway that I think that just fits again with this like overall softer tone that we've had throughout. I just, there was one lyric that I wanted to make sure I didn't like. Yeah, like, why are you smiling all the time? What are you doing? That's the one I saw was like a little bit different. We had one of Sui's lines was also a bit like a confession, but like this idea of, hey, again, we're just like living our life like not talking about this. I'm seeing it partly as this, oh, I've confessed how I feel and I care about you and I want you to care about me in the same way. This person has been like, oh, I'll think about it, and you've had to go your separate ways, but like also you're just like seeing this person, right? Because I've talked about, oh, I want to call every weekend. This has been going on for a minute of what is this? What is it between us? You know how I feel. So what's happening right now? And having to see someone like smiling and going about their life, and this is like swirling around in my head and it's bothering me and I can't stop thinking about it, and all I want to say is sit you down and be like, just say yes, just say that you care about me the same way, instead of just like watching this person like put off the inevitable. And so much of this album has been like almost like unrequited love, right? Like none of these songs are about like, oh, I've fallen in love and this person cares about me the same way that I care about them. This whole album has been this like strange almost space of like, why is it so difficult to understand what love is, understand how I'm feeling about someone, understand how they feel about me, communicate how I feel about them, have them communicate that back to me. And even all the way back to Sweet Talker, sometimes even when they say they care about you, they don't, right? So it's like all these mixed up emotions and getting to this point of just say yes. Like I just want someone to care about me the way that I care about them. Like I just want to stop being the fool who falls in love, has all these strong emotions and falls so quickly, and the other person doesn't feel the same way. Because again, so much of how love is portrayed in media is that like instant love, that love at first sight, this like strong feeling that overtakes you, and then you know that this person must feel the same way about you, right? Like the people always fall in love with the right people and it always like ends up with this happy ending, whereas in reality that's usually not the case, right? You can fall quickly for someone and that doesn't mean that they feel the same way about you, and doesn't mean that they're always willing to put you down easy, right? It doesn't mean that they're ever going to just say no to you. They might just put it off and give you like a waffly, I'll think about it, and then you're stuck in this strange limbo of, does this person care about me? Do they not care about me? Are we gonna be in a relationship? Are we not gonna be in a relationship? What are we doing? So I love them kind of bringing in all of those complexities to these almost like anti-love songs or like almost love songs, right? This almost melancholy to a lot of these situations, even though they have like kind of upbeat feelings. This one's a little bit more on that like melancholy, like ballad feeling, but they all have this undercurrent of, again, like unrequited love. And I think that that's such an interesting thing to spend an album focusing on, especially since they've had lots of like fun puppy love kind of infatuated songs up to this point. I love introducing some of this complexity, and all the songs feel like they're from a different genre, right? They're taking influence from a bunch of different genres, but the vocals are incredible on them. I love every single song on this album. I'm a little bit speechless by how much I'm enjoying this album. We only have one song left. All right, last song, Stuck. And all I can say is, boy, are you. From the way that what I've gotten from these songs, you'll need to find someone who can actually love you and respect you, because clearly you've been getting involved with the wrong people. Ooh. And that like acoustic coming in. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Jungin on this album, she said vocals or some of these songs. But again, this feeling of falling for someone instantly and having this very strong feeling, and that doesn't mean that it can be a relationship. And even no matter how hard I think about it, I want you. Like this feeling of, I can't logic myself out of how I feel. And I think that is also an important thing to bring into this. For all of me kind of talking about, hey, a relationship isn't just about how you feel. It's also about like the connection that you can build with someone. But that doesn't mean that those feelings are invalid. Just because like logically you can't be in a relationship with someone doesn't mean that your feelings for that person stop being applicable, right? Stop being valid. You're allowed to feel strongly about someone. You're allowed to be attracted to someone that you can't be in a relationship with. I think that we've all had moments, especially after a relationship ends, where like you still have these strong emotions for that person, but you also know that there's also like a long list of reasons for why it isn't working between you anymore, and that's why the relationship has come to an end. So I think that it's also really interesting to bring like Stuck, if I'm going from the title, this feeling of being like, I feel like there's something off, but also I can't get rid of the fact that I feel something, right? Like your mind warring with your heart. Yeah, like let everything stop me. Beautiful little flip up. Like I was saying, like my heart is stuck in you again, like the war of your mind versus your heart. And even though like, why do I want to continue to keep seeing you? It's like, I understand that this is not something that I should be pursuing, want to pursue, even though everything stopped me. I don't want to feel this way about this person. Logically, I can understand that I shouldn't feel this way about this person. And yet I do feel this way. And what do I do when the way that I feel and the way that I think are two different things? Really beautiful little descending note there. That's such a beautiful build up in it, but also like that thought stopped with you, right? Like this idea of, again, wanting to shake off the feeling, wanting to escape the fact that you feel this way about someone. And I feel like having Sui have this like shake off the feeling. She also had the line earlier of, I feel it from like my head to my toes. So like this feeling of being like, I feel this thing, but I don't want to actually act on it, or I don't want it to be like something that is taking over everything that I'm thinking. And I feel like it's really interesting to have this song at the end of the album when so much of this album has been about acting on your feelings. Again, leaning into the way that love is portrayed in different kinds of media of, oh, you'll just feel it, you'll know, right? And having this love at first sight and being like Twitter-pated, infatuated with this person, and leaning into the fact that you're like, I feel all of these things super strongly, and do you feel the same way? And focusing so much on that feeling that you have for someone, as opposed to the logic of, oh, I should have known that when you were talking to me, you didn't actually mean what you said. Oh, I should have known that you telling me to wait and not giving me a straight answer probably means that this isn't something that you feel the same way, right? Because it's an instant yes for me, but it's not for you, right? Going off of all of those feelings that they've talked about throughout the album, and then we get to the last song and it's about, I want to listen to my head this time, right? I want to think it through and not let my emotions be what dictate what I'm doing. Just because I feel something for someone doesn't mean that they're right for me or that I should pursue it. Love that little vocal fry put in too. Gorgeous light sound there. Ooh, gorgeous. Now we're getting to a deeper tone there, but also we had the one lyric of, oh, my heart isn't my way. Again, translations are going to be what they are. I take all of the translations with a grain of salt. Okay, I know lyric videos are what they are. before anyone gets up in arms with me. But this idea of my way, like the way that I want to live my life, or like the plans that I have or the ideas that I have, is not the same as what my heart is feeling this moment, right? Again, this separation of mind versus heart. And I just think it's, again, so interesting to be like, I'm going to let my brain make the decision here, because I've tried letting my heart decide, and we just went through a whole album of that not working out, right? Like I was saying, this whole feeling of unrequited love, of, hey, I've let my heart make the decisions up to this point. I've gone along with what the movies and the stories and the songs tell me, and it's not worked out for me. So I'm going to make a decision with my brain this time. I'm going to think it through. Doesn't mean that I'm not still thinking about this person. Doesn't mean that I'm not still feeling the way that I feel. I keep coming back to this person and they keep playing in my brain, right? I keep remembering them, but I'm gonna hope everything stops me from doing something and going with what my heart says, because I'm going to switch things up and listen to my head for once. Ooh, that ad-lib. Ooh, love this like concept of being stuck on someone, but also, even though you're like, I know that I like this person, right? Like even going to the bridge of them admitting how they feel to themselves. Again, it's like wanting to make a decision based on your head. Like, my heart is stuck on you. I don't want to be stuck on you though, right? Like, I want to logic my way through this, even though at my heart, I'm still this hopeless romantic, right? And it feels like this progression of them going through this whole album of this like unrequited love, but like very much letting your heart lead you and hoping for better results. And every time you're like, things are falling short, things aren't actually turning out the way that you were promised that they were. And then you get to this point where you're like, all right, I'm going to try something new and I'm going to not let my heart decide. But just saying that doesn't mean that like changes who you are, right? If you're a very like empathetic, feelings-based person, let your heart lead you, hopeless romantic, right? You can't just rewire that in your brain, especially if you've been told like your whole life leading up to this through like movies and other types of media, that's how love works. That's how love is supposed to feel. Then it's really hard to rewire yourself to be like, I'm going to think through this decision and decide based on whether or not I think this will actually work, whether or not I think this person actually feels anything for me, whether or not this person deserves to have my love and affection. And just because you've made that kind of line in the sand for yourself doesn't mean that you can just rewire the way that you feel, right? Can't just rewire your kind of default reactions to meeting someone that you're attracted to, right? So I love having this kind of like wistful feeling, like I'm still stuck on you. I still feel the same way that I would have in all those other situations when I met someone that I was attracted to, but I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to just take a step back and use my head instead, because I can't like keep getting hurt. I can't keep investing all of this energy and emotion into someone and not getting anything in return. Fantastic album though. Like every single song, vocals were incredible. Production was super fun. I love all the different genre influences. Loved every single song. What a fantastic album. Like y'all have been telling me that. Fair enough. I see you. I understand. So good. I love all of the songs. I loved how we got like lots of different genres and influences and how these songs were put together. But like the amount of vocal work that went into this, like there are so many layered vocals, just the sheer amount of studio time that would have been put in to creating all of those layers in all of these songs is a little bit baffling to me. Like I'm a little bit intimidated by like the intricacies of the layered vocals in this, but incredible vocal performances from so many of them. I don't know how I'm going to explain to people that my favorite song on this album is Home, because I feel like out of context that might be a little bit tricky for me to explain, but I loved that song so much. I can't wait to go back and listen through this album. And I love just like the concept of it, right? The whole question of what is love, and exploring all of these different angles and these different situations in which, like, you know how you feel, right? Like, you feel love for someone, you feel this strong connection, and trying to get to a point where like you're actually loved by somebody, and what does it mean to actually love someone, right? So exploring so many of those different concepts and different ways of exploring it through, again, like different genres of music that are influencing these different songs, and getting to this point of, okay, I know how I feel, but I'm going to make a more logical decision here because I've let my heart decide for a lot of this, and it's not worked out the way that it was supposed to. For a change, I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to think through it and not let my heart being in control of this decision, even though I still feel this the same way, right? Even though I have all these emotions, I'm going to switch up the way that I go about love, because it's not like the movies, it's not like the stories, it's not working the way that I've already tried it. So I love just the exploration of that question throughout this album. And even though it is like a group of love songs, I love that it's pulling into all these different nuances of like how we think about love and how we go about love. Just an incredible album. I'm going to be listening to it so much, but I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click this place that goes to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post a Twice reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.